Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got an update for you regarding the Rafah camp bombing that just happened the other day. I reported on this. There was a camp that was designated as a humanitarian safe zone by Israel inside of Rafah. And we heard news that the IDF was carrying out an airstrike in that area. And during this attack, apparently, one of these bombs, according to the Palestinians there in Gaza and also Hamas, there was a bomb that fell inside of a camp nearby this attack. And unfortunately, there was like 45 people, I believe, that were killed, upwards of 50, maybe more. It was a tragic event. It also caused a large fire, and many people were trapped inside of the tent area, and unfortunately, they burned. So it was a very unfortunate event, very terrible news that I had to report the other day. We also had Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, come out and say that this was a tragic mistake, I believe on the IDF's behalf, I would assume. And now they've got some more information, so we're going to be hearing a video from, this is Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari. He's the IDF spokesman, and he's going to be giving us some information about this strike that took place. They've done an investigation and they continue to investigate at this time. So I want to bring you this information so we can talk about this some more. They're stating here that what happened was there was a secondary explosion, that this strike was carried out using small warheads. They were like 17 kilograms or approximately 37-pound bombs. So this strike was carried out very close to that camp. I mean, not super close, but relatively close. It was like 1.7 kilometers outside of the Al-Mawasi humanitarian zone that got hit. And apparently these munitions were used to strike a Hamas compound. And this Hamas compound was not too far away. So I don't know. I really don't know if this was a possibility that maybe one of these bombs had missed the target, like I talked about in my last video, and it could have fallen in this camp, because he'll show us a map as well that shows that it's really not too far away. You wouldn't think that they could miss, but who knows what happened here, and they're continuing to investigate. But the IDF is claiming that there was a secondary explosion, that there may have been ammunition stored in the area, and you'll also hear like there's a chattering between some Israeli soldiers that there was a secondary explosion that was seen after they dropped these bombs that could have potentially caused that fire. Now, I'm not 100% here, but that's what they're saying. So we're going to be going over some stuff here, and we'll be watching this video. It's about 6 minutes long, so bear with me while we watch it, but it's got a lot of information to explain what could have possibly happened here. So let's go ahead and read this. This is on Israel War Room on X. The facts about the IDF strike in Rafah. The IDF targeted 2 senior Hamas terrorists it had tracked by aerial surveillance to a Hamas compound in Rafah. The IDF confirmed no women or children were in the compound before striking. The strike took place more than a mile, so 1.7 kilometers outside the Al-Mawasi designated humanitarian zone, and more than zero point 0.1 miles or 180 meters from the shelters that caught fire. So that's what I was thinking, 180 meters. I mean, that's still pretty decent, range away, but that's what I was saying. If it was possible that one of these warheads that were dropped, they missed, it's really not extremely far away. We're not talking 10 miles away or 15 miles away. It's literally meters away from this attack. So the strike was carried out using 17 kilogram or 37-pound warheads, the smallest munition IDF jets can use. The IDF munitions alone could not have ignited such a large fire. So that's what they're claiming here, that these were small warheads that were used, and there's no way that just the munitions alone could have ignited that large fire that we saw in the pictures. Unfortunately, I can't show any video footage because it's just so graphic, but I've seen lots and lots of footage and pictures showing a pretty massive fire in that camp, and like I said, there was like 45 to 50 people, somewhere around there, that have been killed in this event, and I think the numbers continue to climb. So the IDF is continuing to investigate the cause of the fire, including the possibility that Hamas had stored weapons in the area and the IDF was not aware of it. and which exploded due to the strike. So that's just another thing, though, and this is the question that I was asking the other day when I reported on this event is why would you strike so closely to a designated humanitarian zone? Like, isn't there another safer way of executing this attack without having to drop a bomb so close to the Al-Mawasi camp? To me, it just doesn't really make any sense, and I don't know, the IDF spokesman here is going to give us some more information and talk about this, so let's go ahead and listen to him. Like I said, it's about 6 minutes and 22 seconds, so bear with me. Let's just get some information from him, and then we'll talk about it after.
On Sunday night, we eliminated senior Hamas terrorists in a targeted strike on a compound used by Hamas in Rafah. The strike was based on precise intelligence that indicated that these terrorists, who were responsible for orchestrating and executing terror attacks against Israelis, were meeting inside the specific structure we targeted. These terrorists were responsible for the death of Israelis, and they were actively commanding operation that could have killed even more. Their deaths saved lives. Sadly, following the strike, due to an unforeseen circumstances, a fire ignited, tragically taking the lives of Gazan civilians nearby. Despite our efforts to minimize civilian casualties during the strike, the fire that broke out was unexpected and unintended. This is a devastating incident which we did not expect. We are investigating what caused the fire that resulted in this tragic loss of life. The investigation is ongoing. I will now share the facts that we've gathered so far. As you can see, in our aerial surveillance from the time of the strike, we targeted a closed structure away from tent area. As you can see, there are no tents in the immediate vicinity of the structure that we targeted. Contrary to reports, we conducted the strike outside the area that we designated as a humanitarian area and called civilians to evacuate to. Our strike was over 1.5 kilometers away from the El Muasi humanitarian area, what we call the safer zone. Here is where Hamas claims we struck, and here is where we conducted our strike against the Hamas senior commanders outside the area designated as a humanitarian area. Our aerial surveillance was filming prior to the strike in order to minimize civilian harm. Here is the footage from our strike of the specific structure where the senior Hamas commanders were meeting. The strike was conducted using 2 munitions with small warheads suited for this targeted strike. We're talking about munition with 17 kilos of explosive material. This is the smallest munition that our jets can use. Following this strike, a large fire ignited for reasons that are still being investigated. Our munition alone could not have ignited a fire of this size. I want to repeat it. Our munition alone could not have ignited a fire of this size. Our investigation seeks to determine what may have caused such a large fire to ignite. We are looking into all possibilities, including the option that weapons stored in a compound next to our target, which we did not know of, may have ignited as a result of the strike. It should be noted, Hamas has been operating from this area since October 7th. Here, in this satellite image, 43 meters from the structure we targeted, you can see Hamas rocket launchers. Hamas fired rockets from these launchers at Israel during their massacre on October 7th. We are also assessing footage documented by Gazans on the night of the strike posted on social media, which appear to show secondary explosions, indicating that there may have been weapons in the area. Our signal intelligence intercepted some phone calls that reinforce this concern, raising the possibility that weapons stored in a nearby compound caught fire. Here is one of those phone calls.
وبيقولوا بقوا قاعدين في اجتماع بعدين قعدهم ذخيره لما صوت السلاح بدا يتفجر وشمت المصارف اتبعتر ابو رفيق هذا مستودع سلاح باقي طلع يعني الاخوان اللي خلطوها اليهود مش قويه يعني صاروخ صغير لانه مش فاحر جوره كبيره وعندها يطلع توابع لتفجيرات كتير.
We are working to verify the cause of the fire. It is still too early to be determined. Even when we do find the cause of the fire that erupted, it won't make this situation any less tragic. We took a number of steps prior to the strike to avoid civilian casualties: aerial surveillance from above, using specific munitions aimed at minimizing collateral damage, delaying the attack in order to further assess expected civilian presence, and other means. This incident is being investigated by the General Staff Fact-Finding and Assessment Mechanism, an independent and professional body that is investigating the circumstances of those killed in the area of the strike. This investigation will be swift, comprehensive, and transparent. Our war is against Hamas, not against the people of Gaza, which is why we convey deep sorrow for this tragic loss of life.
All right, as we can see there, he gave us a good explanation as to what has possibly happened. So the main thing that I got from that video is what they're claiming was that there was a secondary explosion caused by potential weapons that were stored in the area. Now, I don't know, I'm still trying to understand if they were inside of a humanitarian area, were the weapons stored in that humanitarian area? I wouldn't think they would be. But I don't know, Hamas has done some clever little tricky, maneuvers here in the past where they have set up traps like this and situations that may appear as if it was Israel doing something, but it's, could have been Hamas too. So I don't know. I don't really know what happened here, but they're obviously still investigating this and trying to figure out what happened. But at the end of the day, we had at least 45 to 50 people who were unfortunately killed in this attack. And something that I was thinking about too was, what if maybe there was some bombs that were set up in that camp, and maybe they were set off. Maybe Hamas may have set these off around the time of that attack to make it appear as if this was Israel that was doing this. That's just speculation, obviously, and we don't really know exactly what happened, but obviously they will investigate and try to find out more what could have happened here. But so far it's looking, at least according to the IDF, that this could have been a secondary explosion, as they were stating there in that phone call, that there was secondary explosions going off after this attack took place, and a 37-pound bomb is really not that large. But then again, at the same time, it's not like it was extremely far away, but at the same time, not super close. So I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. Tell me what your thoughts are on this situation. If you think that this could have been a mistake by Israel, or if you think maybe this was Hamas doing this. Obviously, no one really knows the real answer as of yet. But hopefully they can investigate and find out what happened here, because it's a very tragic event. Like I said, we had Benjamin Netanyahu come out and say that this was a tragic mistake. So if this was a mistake, I don't know if he's saying this was a mistake on the IDF's part. I don't know exactly what he means by that. But at the end of the day, yeah, this strike did cause some casualties here, a mass number of casualties in the Gaza Strip. So let me know what you think down below. That's going to be it for this update. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.